one, we had no choice. We had to go and establish a new one and then let everybody know the old one's dead. This is the new one.
Hewie, didn't you do a presentation one time, a video on a site that's like Get Human or Talk Human or something?
Yeah, it's Get Human, but Facebook doesn't have anybody there. I tried that.
And the one for Google says there's a number, but nobody answers it.
Maybe they'll start using their new AI capability to answer their phone.
That's still not a human, is it?
Yeah, but they can take somebody's voice and clone it. So
yeah,
the difference.
So instead of Get Human, it's Get Inhuman.
Well, we'll sample your voice, Bob, and send it off to Google.
No, thank you. I still do plenty of tech support at Avast, so. But that's not done by voice either. That's actually, it is done by voice because I dictate. I don't type.
But these are cases where our security has come back to bite us. So
well, it's also a huge issue if you, particularly with if you're traveling and you put new SIM cards in your phone, you just can't do that anymore because you're going to change your phone number and you're not going to get your accounts, right? That is so important that you don't change your phone number. That it's that phone number that's just going to get you every time.
I've been bickering with Comcast for the last week. I have a commercial account with them. And apparently on a commercial account, when they did the upgrade for me for the speed, it added a security layer on their end. And because that security layer was added, I was not able to update my Windows computers. It just would not accept going to the server from Microsoft. It blocked it. So they finally removed it. I was able to update 2 computers. They put it back, and that was the end of the updates. So now they've permanently disabled that added protection, which I never asked for in the first place. But I also noticed my speed has almost like doubled from what it was when that protection was active versus it not being active. So you better know what's going on at the other end, because it was like adding a VPN to my system permanently and slowing everything down. And I especially noticed that when I was uploading videos to YouTube. It used to take quite a while. Now it's like, boom, it's there. Okay, so.
Dorothy, go ahead.
I was just going to say we've had similar issues with the Google issue with a lot of our seniors don't have a cell phone.
Right.
So, and if they did, some of them might have used a home phone number, but so sometimes we've used, not myself, but our personal cell phones, and that's just not going to work.
That's not going to work. Well, Google did give me the option of having a phone call, and I guess an automated, they would do it. So you could use your home phone and get the automated phone.
Yeah, but when we're down at where we do our help, help.
Yeah.
Hewie.
Yeah, I think it's Stan.
Stan must be coming in with your name.
Yep.
And the other thing, I had an interesting email, which was a legitimate email from Facebook, Meta, saying there's been a request to change your Facebook password, and then it had a code. And of course, I didn't. So I went to say this wasn't me and report it. And then, of course, I changed my Facebook password. But most people would just ignore that. So, but it was a legitimate email.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I don't know if I would. Did you log in? You logged into your account, your Facebook account?
Yeah, I logged out and
okay.
We logged in with my new one. And but yeah, no, it was not me requesting.
Well, Dorothy, go back through that again. Tell me what happened.
I got a legitimate email from Facebook Meta saying, here's a code to use because you've requested to change your password. And of course, I did not. So there was a link to go report it to Facebook. So, and then, and then I just changed my password right away. And of course,
they allowed you to do it just after you reported the incident?
Yeah, well, I made it like 26 characters instead of 16. You know?
Well, it sounds like similar to what this person said. They had gotten something that said that their password had been changed and they didn't recall making the change.
Yeah.
But then they went through all this gyration and now they can't get into it at all.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I mean, I'm signed into it on multiple devices. So, but because I use LastPass, I was concerned that possibly this is the beginning of a fallout from whatever, even though I've done everything required of me.
Bill, if they didn't get back to Facebook with that code that was sent, then they're not going to get into that account.
Yeah.
Here it was a denial that I didn't change my password. This isn't me.
Yeah.
And then the action was taken to block the account until you verified through the code they send you. But if you never respond with that code, you're locked out of the account and you're not going to get back in.
That's probably what's happened.
Yep.
But I don't know all the details. I mean, it's a lady dealing with her elderly mother who's almost 90. And she's the one, and the 90-year-old is the one that's using Facebook.
Yep.
And apparently something occurred that they didn't respond to. So it's really been difficult to kind of understand what's happened. But I know they can't get into it, because I worked on it last night and I could not. It was no go. Now they can send in a governor ID to verify who they are, but some people are unwilling to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if it's going to Russia.
But I think one of the problems too is that there's when you will get the banner to reset your password, there's also another button that says secure your account. And I'm wondering what occurs when you click on secure your account. I think that really sends up all kinds of flags. So I don't know if I would do that or not. I think I would just reset my password and not bother about clicking on that secure my account button.
That's probably setting up two-factor.
Yeah, I don't know what that it was, but they did that. I know she clicked on that because she was afraid that, her account had been compromised. So she's going to secure it. And when she did that, I think it caused her to have to verify who she was and all this. So go ahead.
It goes back to the same thing as not clicking on links for people you don't know. Don't click on links on accounts if you don't know what they're going to do. Exactly. And it's very simple. You can do a search for it before you click on it. And there's usually information available that'll tell you exactly what clicking on it is going to do.
I think if it was I doing that first path, I wouldn't have clicked on that secure account. I would have just clicked on reset password.
Welcome, everyone. It's Tech for Senior. We are going to start the show in about 10 minutes, 12 minutes to be exact. We're just sitting around having a social get-together. If you're new here, if you want to say hello, just put your hand up and say hello. If you want to talk about anything, any tech stuff, put your hand up and let's answer your questions. Today, we do have a question and answer period afterwards. And look who's here. It's Jim. You don't have any questions. You always have the
No,
answer.
I just wanted to say hello. You said if you want to say hello. I was just sitting here quietly. I figured, okay, I'll do that. Hello.
Hey, listen, I didn't have any competition with Hewie's show on Sunday. I didn't have this anxiety that I had to watch both you and Hewie because you weren't on this Sunday.
Yeah, well, it was Easter, and we were supposed to go up to my sister's on Easter.
Right.
But one of the kids couldn't make it, so we had it on Saturday instead because it was a birthday thing too. And so we didn't have a show Sunday.
I did.
But we will have one this coming Sunday. We'll be live from an RV rally in Georgia, and we're going to do it from there.
Oh, cool. Yep. All right. There you go. Excellent.
Be careful. She's in the room.
She's the master is here, eh?
Yes. So yeah, it's
very good. George, do you have a question, George? Go ahead.
How many of you are still using LastPass?
I'm still using it.
I'm still using it.
We are.
I paid after all those years. Last year, I decided to pay for it, and so I paid my money for it, and so I think it's due for. I got another couple of months to think what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask Bob. I don't know whether I'm going to go to. I think I changes in the wind, and I'm going to find out what Bob's final decision is. And
I think it was a good call for us to go through the security checkup and make sure we didn't have duplicate passwords and to strengthen some of them. But that was what was necessary to do. And yeah, I'm still there, and my contract expires in May, so I don't really know. It's a lot of work I get all the work is strengthening the passwords in all of the URL, the clients that you go to, all the websites you go to. That's where all the work is.
George, it wasn't any work at all. I simply exported all my passwords and the rest of the information. And when I started the new one, I imported everything. And
but that's
using
not
a new one.
That's not the work. I agree. That's not the work. The work is before you export, you need to strengthen all of those passwords and make sure there's no duplicates. And for me, I have like 300, 400 different accounts at different places, right? And strengthening that was, you don't think
I did nothing with any of the passwords.
Well,
as far as I was concerned, they were secure. They were never, ever touched. And they're now in somebody else's hands.
Well, I think the one thing we had to do after the breach was change the client passwords because that's what got exported.
No, what they recommended was that you change your master password because everything else that they got was totally encrypted. Question is, how long will it remain encrypted?
And that somewhat depends on how. Well, it depends. My master password was long, so that was good. That was like 15 characters. And I've revealed something I never should have revealed.
Bob, which password manager are you using now? Which you were trying Dashlane and
I use two of them. Two of them.
I only want one.
Bitwarden is my backup, and Dashlane is the active.
The active one.
Right. And Dashlane I'm paying for. Bitwarden I'm using the free version.
Okay.
But it automatically, when I have a new site that needs a new password, Bitwarden, as soon as I enter it through Dashlane, Bitwarden says, should I remember that? And of course, the answer is yes. So Bitwarden is as up to date as Dashlane. But when it comes time to fill things in, it's Dashlane that does the actual heavy work.
Yeah, the password manager that I use, eWallet from IlliumSoft, when it exports, it only exports some of the information. And so I can't really export and then import into something else because I lose a lot.
Yep.
A lot of my notes and information that I got tagged along with it. So I'm just staying with it.
Dorothy, go ahead.
I still have that email I got from Facebook. If you want me to read it.
Please
Sure, go
do.
ahead.
Says, hi, Dorothy. It's from Facebook security at facebookmail.com. We received a request to reset your Facebook password. Enter the following password reset code. Alternatively, you can directly change your password, and there's kind of a blue bar to do that. And then it says, didn't request this change. If you didn't request a new password, let us know. And then it said it's from Meta, Facebook Meta platforms at 1 Facebook Way, Menio Park, California. And then it says, to keep your account secure, please don't forward this email.
But Dorothy, what you did with that, you logged into your Facebook account and saw that was a true message. And
yeah, what I did was, I was in my Facebook, and then what I did was I went and into the portion where you change your password, and I generated a new long password, and then of course I had to log out of all my ones and re-sign in.
But you didn't click on anything on that message.
No.
Okay, good. Yeah.
I would never do that.
All right. That was my concern.
Yeah. But it is a legit email. It's, yeah.
But I wonder what triggered that email.
Well, my concern was if it was through the LastPass thing, because I had a fairly strong 16 character one. But I mean, in reality, when I went in there, it tells you what year in your Facebook account settings, what year you changed your password, and mine hadn't been changed for 3 years. I do have friends that have 7, 8 years, they haven't changed their Facebook password. So, yeah.
But you don't know what triggered the initial letter. That was my question.
Not at all. No. It's a mystery.
Well, we have 3 minutes, 3 minutes left. If anyone has a 3-minute question, we would be happy.
That's a long question. I
Well,
have
short.
videos. I have videos shorter than that.
I have a question for you guys. Since you're talking about passwords, what is your feeling about LastPass itself, the product?
I guess my feeling is it's just another piece of software I use, and it's always a pain in the butt, but it's a necessity of life. And as long as I don't have to learn something new, that's great. And I've used LastPass for years, so it's just sort of like brushing my teeth in the morning. It's something that you just do, and I don't get any real enjoyment out of LastPass, and it's always a pain to sort of manage all these passwords, but it's just life, right? I guess that's it's not like AI where I'm excited and I can do all sorts of cool stuff with it. And, it changes every day and life goes on. It's just dull, boring software that just does it, right?
That does.
Ron, is he concerned about is he concerned about the compromise?
Yep.
Is that where his question was coming from?
Yes, it is.
My answer was simple. My answer was simple. It wasn't breach 1 or breach 2. This was breach number 3 or 4. And that was enough for me to make a change. Very simple.
Thank you.
It's like the old adage with fool me once, so fool me twice.
Yeah, I went in and first deleted all of my passwords, and then deleted after I had cleared everything, then I deleted the account. Don't delete the account and still have things in it.
The only thing I'll say to that, Hewie, is your passwords or the stuff had been stolen, and it was stolen before you deleted it. So deleting it afterward really didn't do anything as far as making you secure when it comes to that breach. If those passwords will ever wind up being actually used.
Yeah.
Remember, they are encrypted. So it's going to take quite a bit of computing power to unencrypt those passwords.
Showtime, everyone. Sorry.
Yep.
Showtime.
Can you put in a Premier link? Premier link?
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, don't worry about that. We'll do that. Okay, showtime. Good morning, afternoon, or wherever you are. This is Tech for Senior. I'm Ron Brown. I'll be your host today. We have a great show for you today. If you're watching it in the audience today, thank you for coming. If you're over on YouTube, please thank you again. And if you're watching this as a YouTube short, just click the link and it'll take you right to where the show is, and you can watch it as well. So hope everybody had a great Easter. This is this is episode 158, season 4. I guess it's, Hewie, it's episode 2 in season 4. You did episode 1 last week, didn't you? There you go. There you go. So we're doing, we have we're doing some interesting things today, and let me go over our agenda. We have, of course, I'll be doing the introduction, and Bob is going to do the security news update, followed by Google Chrome hidden reader mode. We'll tell you all about that. Bill James, of course, is going to do his very popular Windows tips. And then a new thought we would try talking about on EV cars and our experience. So I'm a new sort of purchaser, and he's an old-time guy. Just a minute. There we go. The internet's back. And so we're going to have an informal talk on this. And so I thought that'd be a fun thing to try today. And then Bob is going to talk about Google's Android Nearby Share, and also Microsoft Designer. We're going to then stop the live stream, and we're going to do Ray's outro, his music. But of course, Ray isn't here. He's actually right this minute under the knife. He's having his cataracts done. So if we could all say, welcome, Ray. Hopefully you're doing okay. Give him a little, hey, Ray, we hope to see you back. I know he'll be playing this on replay. So just let him know that we are thinking about him. And then, of course, we'll have our Q&A, followed by the Premier video service that we have. And I'll be putting the link in the show notes and on in the chat. And we're going to talk, Dewey's going to talk on the final word on USB 4. Ray Baxter is going to talk on preserving your family home movies. He did that about a year ago. It was a great talk. And Hewie Poplock's going to talk on Google Lens. What's Google Lens? How does it work? And he's going to give us an update on Google Lens. That'll occur at 1/2 past the hour and that is in the premiere, our premiere video. The link, of course, is in our Saturday newsletter. Please make sure, if you haven't, to subscribe to our 2 newsletters. We have one that comes out on Tuesday and one that comes out on Saturday. And in that, of course, I put the premiere video link that you can watch when it shows in at 1/2 this hour. One of the things I do on Saturdays is I do a channel review on my favorite YouTube channel. And this Saturday, I put in one that's been in before, and it was Project Atticus, which is a young couple, Desiree and Jordan, who are traveling the world on their sailboat. And they're in Malta right now, where they'll be for about the next 8 months, where they've just had a young baby. And they do this as a business, because once a week they produce a video about their travels and publish it on YouTube. And of course, it goes out to a very wide audience. And and that's how they make a living. So the interesting thing about the video that they just released this week was they did a video. They just got Starlink, and you have no idea. Their video really was about the trials and tribulations of all the things that happened trying to get those videos up as they were in the Mediterranean, the Caribbean, and they travel around the world. It is not easy to get internet. And when the videos about all the things that they've done, and then when they went and installed Starlink, and when they connected it, they immediately connected it and got 300 megabits down on a speed. It's just amazing, the story. So if you got the Saturday newsletter and you haven't looked at the video that I highlighted in there, go and play that video. It is truly amazing to see what Starlink and technology does for people who are traveling. I thought it was very interesting. All right, let me introduce everybody today. Hewie, Poplock, what have you been up to? You had a big show on Sunday.
Yes, we did the Windows SIG for the Sarasota and for the Orlando group. I combined the two the Windows SIG for both of them, and we had a nice group of people, and we had a lot of fun, and it was some interesting discussion. And then it was just the CFCS main meeting right after. It was just a talk. I wasn't going to even be a part of it, but we started talking about some of the stuff with AI, especially with Night. I can't think of the website, but anyway, we started talking about a few things. I showed a few things that I've done, and we had some pretty good discussions about AI.
For being Easter, right?
Yes, I was very surprised. Yep.
Yeah, I was surprised that many people showed up. Cool.
And then we had a community dinner right after that, and it was the biggest event we've had all year. And as far as numbers go, we had a good crowd and a great dinner. And I'm in a community where everybody's a volunteer and they all do everything. And it was a great dinner.
Excellent. Excellent. And then, of course, Bob, you've got a busy week. What are you doing on Wednesday?
Something for APCUG. And it has to do all about AI. I actually just sent some homework to Judy Talor that she needs to answer because it's part of the show.
I'm sure she'll be happy with that. Very good. And Bill James, you are on Windows, but you're going to do your Mac talk next. You promised to do your Mac talk next week, right?
So I did, and I will have something of interest, I hope.
So I was telling Bill that our readership doubled the week he talked on Mac. I thought, what is going on here? Like
I don't think I had anything.
I don't get it. So I said to Bill, we got to do another Mac talk next week and see if the same thing happens. That's crazy, right?
I think so. I don't know if I had anything to do with that, but we're going to give it a go.
We'll see what happens. All right.
See what happens.
Yeah. And of course, Mike Ungerman is sitting there smiling as always as he's charging up his car.
No, it's a rainy day today, Ron.
Oh, is it? There you go. Boy, it sure rained here. It was such a bad Easter. It just howled and it was misery. But I was able to. Oh, I got a quick story. I got 1 minute left. I can maybe do this in 2 minutes, right? So, anyway, so I'm watching the Masters on Sunday with my wife. Unbelievable, unfreaking believable. Broadcast in 4K. When they're putting, you can see every blade of grass, right? So I taped the thing so that so when we watched it in the evening, when we're having dinner, we can watch it. So we're watching dinner at 6 o'clock, but of course the Masters is finished, but I don't want to know who won. So we're at hole number 15, right? When the final group's going. And Gail says to me, has John Rahm ever won the Masters? And I said, gee, I don't know much about John Rahm. Maybe I'll ask Google. So I asked Google, has John Rahm ever won the Masters? Well, of course, it had already updated it and said, yes, he won the Masters in 2023. And I thought, oh, rats, it gave me the answer. I didn't want to know that I didn't want to know who won, right? So I knew, I didn't tell Gail. I made it look as though, oh, it was exciting right up until the end. And I didn't let her know, but I knew the answer. That darn Google update stuff so fast that really was a problem. Anyway, Bob, take it away. I don't want to talk all day.
What away? Oh, I guess we are ready to do my first part. Hold on.
You're having so much fun. You're just...
Here is the Security News Roundup for the week ending April 7th, 2023. Google Drive rolls back new file limit that was locking some users out. Google is removing the file limit it recently and unexpectedly imposed on Google Drive. In a Twitter thread, the official Drive account stated that the limit was rolled out to preserve system stability and optimize performance. While only a small number of users were affected by the change, Google is now rolling it back. The company also promised it'll do a better job of communicating future changes to its users. Read more at androidauthority.com. A new data extortion email campaign copying ransomware gang techniques. The Avast Threat Labs have identified a new data extortion scam targeting companies. The scam is designed to look like it's coming from a ransomware or data extortion cyber gang and is sent via email to employees of different companies, addressing them by their full name. The senders claim they are from a ransomware group like Silent Ransom or Lockfit. If read quickly, the recipient may believe the email was sent by the Lockbit ransomware group, which is known for the aggressive data extortion methods. Read more on the Avast blog. Tesla employees reportedly shared videos captured by cameras on customers' cars. Some Tesla workers shared sensitive photos and videos captured by the camera on owners' cars between each other for several years, according to Reuters. Former employees told the outlet that colleagues shared their images in group chats and one-on-one communications between 2019 and last year. One such video showed a Tesla driving at high speed before hitting a child on a bike, Reuters reported. Other footage included things like a nude man walking toward a vehicle. We could see them doing laundry and really intimate things. We could see their kids, one of the former employees said. Read more at Engadget.com. Western Digital confirms network security incident. Some systems offline. Western Digital confirmed the network security incident today and that some of the company's systems, including MyCloud Home and MyCloud OS, are down currently. The company detected the network intrusion on March 26, 2023. It discovered that an unauthorized third party gained access to a number of the company's system. Western Digital initiated an investigation and implemented incident response efforts. The investigation is in its early stages, according to the company, but leading outside security and forensic experts are assisting the company in the investigation. Read more at ghacks.net. IRS certified free filing service caught spreading malware. A recent issue with the free filing service efile.com, authorized and tactically endorsed by the IRS, has added a whole new layer to stress to filling your taxes. Security researchers found a malicious JavaScript file spreading malware on the site itself. The JavaScript file shows a dummy error page and instructs users to download a browser update, which in fact is a load of malware, specifically a Windows-based botnet program. I guess you get what you pay for, even though the free version of Avast would have blocked this JavaScript. Read the whole story at pcworld.com. Brace yourself for a tidal wave of ChatGPT email scams. There's an experiment being run by undergraduate computer science students everywhere. Ask ChatGPT to generate phishing emails and test whether these are better at persuading victims to respond or click on the link than the usual spam. It's an interesting experiment, and the results are likely to vary wildly based on the details of the experiment. The AI chatbots will never sleep and will always be adapting along their path to their objectives. And new mechanisms from ChatGPT plugins to LangChain will enable composition of AI with thousands of API-based cloud services and open-source tools, allowing LLMs to interact with the internet as humans do. Defense can and will eventually catch up, but before it does, our signal-to-noise ratio is going to drop dramatically. Read more at wired.com. FBI cracks down on Genesis Market. 119 arrested in cybercrime crackdown. A coordinated international law enforcement operation has dismantled Genesis Market, an illegal online marketplace that specialized in the sale of stolen credentials associated with email, bank accounts, and social media platforms. Coinciding with the infrastructure seizure, the major crackdown, which involved authorities from 117 countries, culminated in 119 arrests and 208 property searches in 13 nations. However, the .onion mirror of the market appears to be still up and running. The unprecedented law enforcement exercise has been codenamed Operation Cookie Monster. Read more at thehackernews.com. This week's must-see on my YouTube channel. 8 reasons why you should be using a VPN in addition to your antivirus and firewall. Please watch my video on this topic at the YouTube link listed. Did you know? Did you know Q is the only letter that doesn't appear in any U.S. state name? The mobile phone throwing world championships are held in Finland. A recent winner said he prepared for this event by mainly drinking. The Vatican's bank is the only one in existence that allows ATM users to perform transactions in Latin. Develop enough courage so that you can stand up for yourself, and then stand up for somebody else. Thanks to Maya Angelou. I just thought you might want to know. And that wraps up my security news roundup for this week. Stay safe, stay secure, and I'll see you again next week. Bye-bye. Did you know that the Chrome browser has a reader mode? But if you want to use it, you have to turn it on. Let me show you how to do that, and then let's see the effects of using that reader mode. Let's start by opening a new tab, and then type the following in the address bar. Hit the Enter button. Once this opens, you want to type the following in the search bar. And once you type reader mode in the search bar, it opens it up in the experimental menu. And by default, that's what it's set to, default. Well, we want to use it, so let's enable it, turn it on. As soon as you do that, you need to relaunch the browser. So that's next, relaunch. Now we no longer need this tab. We've accomplished our task. The reader mode is now on. Let's close this tab. That puts us back to the article that we had before, but you'll notice there's now a new icon up next to the address of this website. And that is what the reader mode icon looks like. So if we want to use reader mode on this website, select it, just click on it, and watch what happens. Oh, now you have something that you can actually read. Notice all of the ads are gone on the side. All you've got is just the information that you came here to see in the first place. You'll also notice that up on top there's a little A. Well, that's for adjustments. So let's select it. And from here, there's a couple of things you can do. We right now are set on a white or light background, but you can change that. That makes it a nice and easy background. You can also go into dark mode if that's what you prefer. You've got another adjustment that you can use, and that's going from small all the way up to large. Make things easier on your eyes. And you can see that you can really go to very large. Once you've got it set the way you want it, close this little box and enjoy the reader mode in Google's Chrome. Stay safe, stay secure. I hope that helps. Bye.
Thanks, Bob. I don't, the reader mode's been around for a while. I'm just not sure why it never made it to the final version of Chrome. You'd think that it would be one of the things that would be regular in the regular version, eh?
I don't know why, not Google.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I don't know. That's a really, odd. Anyway, thanks. That's really good information. I'm going to make sure I turn that on. That's that for sure. And if you turn that on, it'll also be on in your Chromebook too, eh?
Yeah, it works in your browser.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter where. It'll work on your phone. It'll work on your computer. Got a Mac. If you're using Chrome, it's going to be there. One thing to remember, this is experimental, and experimentals can make it to the final. Oh, they may not.
Oh, the other thing is, Bob, can you print from that? Is there a print menu on the reader mode?
No, but Control P would print. I haven't tried it. I don't know. Okay.
Right. Okay. All right. Well, that's great. Thanks so much. Now we're going to go and we're going to have some Windows tips. Bill, are you going to tell us some great things we can do with our Windows version?
Yes.
The floor is all yours.
Let me share my screen.
Or the screen is all yours, I guess we should say, right?
Right.
Oh, that's a nice picture.
That's the Bing wallpaper. All right. We're going to talk about 6 Windows tips that I found. Some of these you're probably aware of, and some of them you may not be of, but we'll get started here. Keyboard shortcuts. Windows has a number of keyboard shortcuts that can save you time and make it easier to navigate your computer. Some useful shortcuts includes Windows plus D to minimize all open windows, Windows plus L to lock your computer, and Windows plus I to access your settings. You also can do custom keyboard shortcuts. Windows allows you to create custom keyboard shortcuts for any application or folder on your computer. So to do this, you want to right-click on the application or folder and select Properties, and then click on the Shortcut tab. Create your shortcut by typing in a letter of your choosing. A shortcut will be created automatically using that letter. For instance, if I wanted to make a shortcut for Google Chrome, I could type in a G, and then the shortcut would be Control Alt plus G. And if you have shortcuts on your desktop that you want to be able to access those using a keyboard application, just right-click on it and then click on the Shortcut tab. In Windows 11, it's a little bit more convoluted. So you can click on all apps on the Start menu and then click on More, select the right-click on the application or folder, and then click on the file location. And File Explorer opens, click on the 3 dots, select Properties, and then click on the Shortcut tab. And again, create your shortcut by typing in any letter of your choosing, and the shortcut will be created automatically using that letter. Clipboard history. Windows has a built-in clipboard history feature that allows you to access your clipboard history and paste any previously copied item. Windows key plus V will do the trick. God mode. Enabling God mode will give you access to a wide range of advanced settings and features that are not normally available in Windows. To enable it, simply create a new folder and rename it to God mode dot, and this long string of letters and numbers. You need to type that as exactly as displayed, including the dot between God mode and the bracket. And here's a little short video that will give you
Here's a computer hack I bet you didn't know. You're going to create a new folder on your desktop, and you're going to rename the folder to this. Now you have an icon that looks like this. Double click that, and you've got access to literally every setting within Windows. This is called God mode.
And you'll be surprised what you can do, but I do caution you in using this. This is almost the equivalent of using the registry. So make sure that when you are playing around with that you have pad and paper to make a step-by-step scheme of what you did when you were using it, because you can get yourself into trouble. But it will give you a wide variety of settings that you can do using that feature. In Windows, you can also print a document to PDF from any application thanks to the built-in print to PDF feature. You no longer have to use the old XPS printer or install a third-party application. To get started, open the document you want to print to a PDF file. Find and open the print dialog box in the application. Where this is located will vary by program, but you can usually go to File, Print, and just click the printer icon. Windows Print to PDF feature allows you to save any document or web page as a PDF file. That concludes our Windows tips for this segment. Ron, back to you.
Just unshare yourself, Bill. All right. Just a minute. All right. Well done, Bill. Thanks so much. I appreciate that. Lots of good information. And we'll look forward to your Mac talk next week, right?
Right. Thank you.
All right. So this brings us into a section now where we've never done this before. This is a new idea that we're going to try out. And this is where we normally have pre-recorded segments that are very formal. But I wanted to talk to Mike and I about our EV car experience. And I said, well, to Mike, why don't we just wing it? Why don't we just do a little talk, an informal talk, rather than making a specific video? And I can talk a little bit about our experiences and maybe how we came about on this journey. So, Mike, if you don't mind, I'm going to go first. All right. And I'm going to actually, hold on a sec. I got to get my watch on here and get the timer going, because you know me, I could talk forever and I've got to limit myself to 7 minutes. So my watch should go off. If I blab on further than 7 minutes, please somebody grab me and shake me or something, and we will we'll have and I'll stop. So let me just talk a little bit about the journey. As you know, that I bought the car behind me, which is a RAV4 hybrid, and I'll talk a little bit about that. And I guess one of the problems is if you're a senior, why do you want a new car, and why do you want to spend a lot of money on something that, hey, do you really need that? And I guess that's a question that everyone has to ask themselves. And in our particular situation, I have, of course, my big diesel truck I've had for 20 years that, you know, is great. It sits in my garage. I drive it about once a month, but it's big and it's great on the highway, but it doesn't do well. So we had, so 5 years ago, my best friend died, and he gave me his Jeep Patriot, which was a great little car to run around in. But there are a lot of things wrong with it. And it's great to go to Costco and for Gail to go to church. But if we wanted to take it out on the highway, or we wanted particularly to go to Victoria for some more medical tests if we ever needed any, it's just not very reliable. So I really wanted to, rather than be in crisis mode, I wanted to upgrade the car to something that wasn't a big problem like the Jeep is now. But it didn't cost me anything, so it's been great transportation. But I need something that's really reliable. So we decided to look at cars, and I want to thank Mike Ungerman for helping me go down this journey, because I was always I bought a car for 20 years, and I was always thought, you know, you go and you buy a used car that's 3 years old because someone else has depreciated it, and that's where you get your best deal. And if that is what you think, then you haven't bought a car in the last 5 years. It's all changed, right, Mike? That is not anything like the world is in reality right now. And Mike also had talked about the Car Edge, which is on his playlist on our Saturday newsletter. And I would encourage you to look at that. And I watch the Car Edge almost every day now, and it upgrades me on, you know, what's really happening in the car industry, which is quite interesting. And what you will soon find, that if you go to buy a car, at least it was in the last year when we started looking, is that used cars are more expensive than new cars. Yes, that's true. It's true. In fact, my RAV4, the one that you see behind me, cost me $35,000, but the dealer sold a 2022 for $50,000, $15,000 more the day I bought this, and I got it delivered. So it is true that used cars now are really hard to come by, and they're very expensive. So we quickly decided in our journey that we were going to buy a new car. Now, when I was out washing my car this last week on our little crescent that we live in, there's two Teslas that are next to us here, and two other EV cars. And as all the neighborhood came by to see the new car, of course, three of the people said that their cars were coming this week as well. So clearly, and we're all seniors, so clearly there's a lot of interest in EV cars. So that would be something that you might want to think about. The other thing about keeping an older car now, which is really interesting, is that the used car fleet in the United States and Canada is now up to 12.2 years. It has never been this old. Like the used car fleet out there is really old, which means there's incredible pressure to fix these things. And we haven't seen that here, but in the Toronto area, if your radiator goes or you have an alternator problem, you take it in, it goes, and it's a month before they can see it. There aren't enough mechanics or garages to fix these vehicles. And so this is a constant thing that, as there's not enough pilots, as there's not enough doctors, you go on and on and on. It's the same problem getting old cars fixed. At least it is in certain parts. So yeah, it's another issue that we didn't want to get into, because the advice that I can give everybody is plan it. If you wait until you're in a crisis mode and your car doesn't work and you have to buy a new one, well, then you just may be in some problems, because my advice would be to plan it. And we decided to, first thing we did is we went and we decided to go and look at different dealers. And we spent 6 months going to different dealers in the area that we live, about 15 dealers. Gail and I go out for lunch every Friday, and in the afternoon, we would go look at dealerships. And there were certainly 75% of them I would never want to do business with. In fact, some of them, they would have the salesman would come out and give you his card, and the last guy's name would be crossed off, and he'd write his over it, and they were there, and the dealerships didn't have any cars, because of course that you have to order all the new cars now, which was interesting. So we reviewed and made our decision on Toyota because we really liked the dealership. And then we had to decide whether we were going to go electric or not electric. Well, we decided to go electric. We were going to do a gas hybrid. Now, many of you may or may not know, Mike's going to talk about a plug-in hybrid. I don't have a plug-in hybrid. I have a gas hybrid. And the difference being is in my car, with the gas hybrid, it was only $2,000 more than a regular car, right? It very little difference in price. And Honda, you'll find with gas hybrids, there's very little difference in price and a lot more because the battery is only the size of the rear seat. It sits under the rear seat, whereas the battery in Mike's car is big, right? So because it's smaller, it's a lot cheaper. And so there's only about a $2,000 difference in price. So that's one of the reasons why we chose our gas hybrid. Now, Mike's going to talk to you about his plug-in hybrid, and I'm going to stop sharing my screen, or I guess I'll just take off my spotlight. You can go ahead, Mike. Go ahead.
Okay, I believe I need to spotlight myself, so give me.
No, if are you going to share your screen?
I'll share my screen. Yeah.
If you share your screen, you don't need to put the spotlight.
Don't have to do that. Okay, so we'll share screen. And I'm sure. Let's see. Here we go. Share screen. Well, unlike Ron, I think with organized notes. So I prepared this as if I was doing a presentation, but it gives me some talking points. And for those of you that like to read text, you can read what I'm about to say or read ahead as you wish. Many of you know that I ran an EV, or not an EV series, a rooftop solar photovoltaic series in Tech for Seniors last year. We had 2 phases put in, one in 2017, one in 2019. And I had a 12-year-old, I had a 5-year-old 2012 Hyundai Tucson. It had 40,000 miles on it. So I could have kept it as a used car, but I was in the market, hadn't really decided what I wanted. There was an international auto show here in Orlando in the fall of 2017. And retroactively, I probably could say I made the mistake of going by the Kia display and saw their brand new, not yet in the marketplace, Kia Niro plug-in hybrid, and talked to their sales reps, saw their video presentations, and it just, the light bulb went on. And I said, you know, I've got a solar system on my roof. I could charge that plug-in hybrid for my solar production on sunny days, why I have a smile on sunny days, and essentially drive the first 26 miles of any trip free. So I said, okay, time to jump in. I did kind of what Ron did, except I was focused on Kia. And I did 2 months of research to actually find a Kia dealership that was willing to order a Kia Niro PHEV because they weren't in stock. And then I wanted at that time to be able to use my credit union's car buying program and try to get a discount, which you could get then. These days it's MSRP or MSRP plus something. So in December of 2017, I was able to place my order. They found the car. It was actually on a ship en route to the US. And in February, actually Valentine's Day of 2018, you can see here's the car that I got, Kia Niro PHEV, silver with a silver and Duralite silver interior. And it came with a charging cable, level 1 charging cable, which you can see I've got plugged in right there. I decided that I really wanted to have an external outlet on my wall, and I also wanted to have that outlet support the level 2 chargers. So I had an electrician come to our house and install these side-by-side outlets on a single circuit, or it's double circuit. Comes out 220 and it's split off 110 for the 110. And here's my level 1 charger plugged in. And this is where the level 2 charger would plug in. And unfortunately, I have to park the Kia outside because we have a 2-car garage. My wife says, no, you're not going to take my place. We've got a nice van, and I've got a classic Corvette in the other slot. So she stayed outside, but it's weathered pretty well. So I can fully recharge my Kia's battery, getting about 26 miles of EV range. And that's the spec with the level 2 charger. And it can charge the car in about 2 hours. Level 1 with their standard charger that comes with the car is 9 hours. So typically I wait for a nice sunny day, about 10 in the morning, and by noon it's fully charged if it was fully empty. When I'm driving it, it's a little bit different driving technique for a PHEV as opposed to a hybrid. But what happens essentially is you start out in the EV mode and you drive it for the first 26 miles in EV mode. If your AC is on for cooling in the summer months, the maximum range is automatically reduced to 24 miles. I've actually seen that go down to 23 on really hot days. And then when the battery shows 0 miles of range remaining, the car automatically switches to hybrid mode and runs just like Ron's does in his hybrid mode. Functions as a regular Kia Niro. And on average, I do get between 50 and 55 miles per gallon in hybrid mode. So it's very efficient. While I'm in the EV mode, if I really need acceleration, I just step on the gas and it significantly increases speed. And there's a point where the engine will cut in to augment the acceleration. And then when I'm finished accelerating, like to pass a car, I just let up on the pedal and it reverts to EV mode as long as there's power left in the battery. If I wish, I can actually push a button and force hybrid at any time, even from starting out. There's also a sport mode on the transmission. And Ron, I think you've got a sport mode too that you can select. And I found out with trial and error that what this does is it changes the gear ratios and also changes the way the engine interfaces with the transaxle and the gearing so that I can get a lot of torque in the sport mode. So that's great for cutting across traffic if I have to make a left turn across traffic, or if I'm also merging on an expressway and I want to get up to speed really quick. And then if I want to feel sporty, I can actually manually go through all 6 gears and it's good for mountain driving, which I've done when I was headed up to Tennessee, especially on long grades, both climbing and decelerating. Typically on a long distance trip, I'll start out in EV mode until I get to an expressway. I'll manually select the hybrid mode while cruising to the exit on the long distance, and then I'll manually select EV mode again when I'm driving on local driving. I do bring a level 1 charger with me on trips and can use it at my destination if I can get to a friend or a motel or something like that, 110, 120 outlet. Otherwise, I remain in EV mode until the car automatically selects the hybrid mode when remaining EV range gets to 0, as I've stated, and stay in that mode for the return trip. I have not used commercial charging with this car, although I could. Since the pandemic, since I bought the car, I've only put 14,000 miles on it. And for that reason, the demands on the gasoline engine are much, much less. And what I'll do is make sure the gasoline engine runs at least once on each short trip by doing half of it in EV and half of it in HEV or hybrid mode. And as far as maintenance goes, because of the low mileage in the gasoline engine, I really change oil only once a year to keep the warranty valid. I could probably go much longer because it uses synthetic oil. And there is no oil or lubrication that's involved with the electric components. It's only for the gas components. I am considering the purchase or lease of a Fisk repair. And as Ron said, we have a lot of different reasons why we want to get a new car. Don't need one, but it's desirable. It's a full EV. It will be assembled in the US in 2024. It's anticipated to have battery components that meet the new tax incentives for a $7,500 tax credit. I won't make my final decision until sometime in 2024. You'll probably hear me talking about it as we get closer. And for now, I think I have what I would say is the best of both worlds, with gasoline powered transport for my short trips, gasoline engine for longer trips without range anxiety, the thought that I have to find some place to charge, which will go into that Fisker decision. And the big positive is being able to charge my car battery from our solar system on sunny days, keep smiling, and drive the first 26 miles for free. And here you go, Mike.
Yeah, thanks, Mike. That's great. Just so everyone understands, I have a gas hybrid. Mike has a plug-in hybrid. I actually have ordered a plug-in hybrid, and but the plug-in hybrid is $15,000 more. I will be getting, there is $7,000 of tax incentives I get for that, which you do not get on a gas hybrid. I don't know, Mike, if that's the same in the United States, but gas hybrid, you don't get any tax incentive. So that $15,000 will slightly be offset by that $7,000. And hopefully I've got some equity in the thing because, of course, the big demand. We'll see what happens and see what the negotiating position is on that. So anyway, Bob, are you ready to roll? Unmute yourself.
I'm ready to go.
Okay, take her away.
Something new from Google. It's called Better Together Android to PC Nearby Sharing app. Make sure that you download this only from Google. Wireless sharing with your PC made easy. Send and receive photos, documents, and more between nearby Android devices and your Windows PC. Start by downloading Nearby Share Beta for Windows. Agree to Google's terms of service and install the app. Once that's done, start enjoying the ability to share directly from your phone to your computer and much more. But how you share and with whom you share is fully within your control. Once you've installed the app, the next thing is to go to your phone and pick out something you want to share. Let me show you how that's done. So as you can see, I have both Nearby Share Beta from Google open, and it's waiting to receive. I also have my Pixel 6 open, so let's send something from the Pixel 6 over to the PC. Let's open up Photos. There's a nice one. Select the photo and select share. And right here you have nearby share. Select it. And I have two choices. Both of them are marked as a laptop. One of them is and the other one isn't. I'll fix that the next time I go into the settings. Let's select the device. Let's mark it as done. And as you see here, it's been received. I can now open it. You have to admit that this picture looks a heck of a lot nicer than the picture we saw on the phone. Close this back out, and there's the picture on the phone. I prefer the one that I just received on my desktop, and I can now work with that picture on the desktop. That goes for any file, and you not only can send it to the devices that you have it paired with, you can also send and receive from contacts. A nice little tool just released by Google. Kind of marries your Android phone to your PC. Stay safe, stay secure, have some fun. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye. Microsoft Designer. Brand new from Microsoft and currently only available by invitation. Follow the link in the video notes to join the wait list. I finally got my notice this morning, so let's take a quick look at Microsoft Designer. As Microsoft states, it's never been easier to approach a blank canvas. Start with a description or a simple idea, then watch your content transform and choose your favorite design. Create a one-of-a-kind image for your designs. Add a description of the image you'd like to create, and the program or app will generate it in seconds, as you can see here from the prompts and the designs it creates. It's that simple, and get the inspiration you're looking for. Just add or remove content to get ideas for an attention-grabbing design. And there's more. Designer makes your content stand out with over 100 million images and videos for high-quality visuals. Motion graphics to make your designs more engaging. Direct publishing to your social or send to your phone for a quick share. As I said in the beginning, right now you need to join the wait list to gain access. Since I currently have access, next we're going to take a look at Microsoft Designer. So this is what the Designer looks like once you've signed in after you've gotten your invitation. And I'm going to fill in the request for the design that I want. And I'm going to use the same prompt that I did in yesterday's demo of Adobe's Firefly. Let's see what this will produce. Seniors seeking help from the folks at Tech for Seniors. Let's hit the generate and see what we get. Now you've got some options. You can add an image. You can skip and start from a blank canvas. And here is what it came up with. I think this is a pretty nice one. And I'm actually going to save this image and see if I can't use it somewhere. And that is just a quick look. There's a lot more too. Microsoft's a brand new designer, and I need to do some learning, but I figured it was only fair to share this as soon as it was available. So if you're interested, sign up, get on the waiting list, get your invitation, and start having some fun. Stay safe, stay secure. I'll see you again soon. Thanks and bye-bye.
Thanks, Bob. So the interesting part about that is, of course, they're trying to compete with Canva. But Bob, I will tell you that in looking at that video, those templates are all in Canva. In fact, I did that experiment in Canva and got pretty much the same response, which is interesting. So I don't know where they're getting their templates from. Yeah.
All I know is I had no problems using this product. I, for some reason, just can't get my hands around Canva.
All right.
So
it's interesting. So it'll be it's interesting, but all good products. All right. We should get on with our music. I know Ray's probably watching us now and think, come on, Ron, get going. So I want to say goodbye to everybody over on our YouTube feed. Thank you for coming. We'll see you again in about a week's time. If you want to pop over into our Zoom meeting, we'd be happy to have you, and you can participate